Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We're visiting a flower farm and a bee farmer. But guess what? The two interact so much that you won't believe how it transpired. We're here with Price Hartman. Price.
Yes.
So
Sheri,
thankful that you let us come today.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Give me a little history. You're from Tennessee originally, or your family is.
That's correct.
How long have you been here?
We've been here on the property about 11 years. I've been in Rutherford County, Middle Tennessee my entire life.
And your family's been here forever?
Our family were on the census in Laverne back to 1814.
That is so cool, so cool.
I don't know how many greats that is, but several great-grandfathers back.
So you were talking to me about how this all evolved, about your wife was involved in the beginning. Let's talk about that.
Well, we got in the flower business originally when we moved here. Again, we have 8 acres, and I grew up with a father that always had 2 giant gardens. So when we moved here and we got an opportunity, we put a garden in, and I'll pick on my wife a little bit. My wife liked the planting part and the picking part, but not the in-between part. And,
like us all.
All the gardeners know if you don't do the in-between part, you don't have a good vegetable garden. So after a couple of years, I just tilled the entire garden and put it in sunflowers. The next year, I ordered some zinnia seeds, and we had a small patch of zinnias.
Did you have bees all this time?
I did not have bees. Yes, I had bees before we started the zinnias. So this is my 5th year of beekeeping, and this year I robbed 92 gallons of honey.
And you go to the farmer's market?
I go to the farmer's market and sell the honey, and we sell some flowers sometimes. But we kind of evolved. We put one small patch of zinnias in. The next year I tilled a little larger area, and we just really enjoy the flowers. So it's exponentially grown, as you can see.
It's gorgeous.
I think we have 5 different patches of flowers or fields. And then this year on the very back, I put in some cotton. I acquired some cotton seed and put a small patch of cotton in just for fun.
How many beehives do you have?
I have 25 hives at present.
Well, that's substantial.
And this past spring, I caught 21 swarms.
Oh, wow.
Let some other beekeepers have some of the swarms. 25 is more than I could manage, but again, we had a good honey year this year.
Great. Now let's talk some basics. I, for one, grow zinnias and cosmos and sunflowers, not cotton. All these goodies, but not on this scale.
Okay.
Obviously, you use a tractor to sow them, or how are you sowing them?
I actually use a tractor to till.
Okay.
I normally till in the fall, and I don't turn the ground with a plow, but I have a 5-foot tiller on the back of a tractor I till with. And normally I till early in the spring. I end up tilling the ground 3 or 4 times because the initial early weeds, try to keep the weeds out. And then I broadcast the seed.
With a fiddle?
No, that's what I was going to say. I buy my seed in bulk, and it comes with no filler.
Okay.
So a pound of zinnia seed, I mix it with 10 pounds of sand, and I use white playground sand that you buy in a bag. And actually, I rob it out of my daughter's volleyball court now that we have a volleyball court. So I mix 1 pound to 10 pounds of sand. And the benefit to that of having white sand, I broadcast it by hand. And as I broadcast the sand,
see it on the dirt.
I can see where the
I've
coverage is.
did that with sugar before, if you can believe it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it works great. So if I have an area where I do not see the white residue from the sand, I know I don't have flower seeds. And as you can see, I get really good coverage. Actually, I plant them too thick, thicker than what the manufacturer of the seed calls for, but we like them solid and thick. And this is the first year I've tried the Cosmos. They're utilizing the nectar from the sunflowers and the flowers later on as the other nectar dries up. And as we get into what's called the dearth, or the summer dog days, you know, all your nectar, your flowers dry up, and then they start gathering nectar back in the fall.
So you had said that you do take a few flowers to the farmer's market, but that's not your mainstay.
Last year we took more because of the COVID, and my children were home from college, and we had some real good days at the farmer's market. This year we've not sold as many flowers or made it a point to go to the market. But long-term plan, that's probably in my long-term horizon if I ever get to retire, that would be something that I would pursue.
Yeah, I was going to mention that this isn't your full-time gig.
No, not at all.
No,
Really, the flowers are for fun, for the bees, and then we have a lot of people that just come and pick bouquets. Then also I have some photographers that bring clients out, families, to take pictures in the flowers.
So what's the longevity of the zinnias? When will these be spent, and you're going to be thinking about, do you cut them down first and then till them up, or compost them, or what do you do with the leftovers?
Well, actually, these are called cut and come again, the strain, and so the more you cut them for table arrangements, they grow back.
Correct.
Obviously, it's not possible to cut all of those. So in the field in the front last year when they did start dying down, I took my hedge clippers and cut them off for them to grow back. But I pretty much just let them run their course, and they will look good up until beginning of frost. They still have quite a bit of color. And then when they die down, generally I just mow them and then retill the ground. And the sunflowers you see in the back here are a later planting. I also have a well, so I was able to water this field and the flowers you see in the background.
What about soil amendment? Are you doing anything, adding anything before you plant the seeds?
At this point, I have not.
Do you have to rotate your crops because you're planting so many, or no?
Well, I'm not far enough into it.
Okay.
You know, because
it's a learning curve.
It is a learning curve because this field you see right here behind us, this is the first time that I've had flowers here. So I just tilled this spring and put flowers here. I added 3 new patches that I did not have last year or the previous year. And depending on the time of day, and I see a couple, I do have a lot of butterflies, a lot of pollinators, and it depends on the time. I see normally earlier in the morning the honeybees working the zinnias and the sunflowers, and then throughout the day you see the bumblebee type bees. And actually, you know, I see several of those now. I'm still learning, so I don't really know what pointers I would give for someone in the beginning other than, you know, we talked about the sand, the zinnias, if you just want to plant a patch of something, and I think most people that garden probably know they're bulletproof. I think they'll grow anywhere in any kind of environment.
Will you share your seed source?
Absolutely, AmericanMeadows.com
Okay.
is where I buy my seeds.
And you buy them by the pound through that?
I buy them by the pound. You can buy a quarter, a half, you can buy them in larger bags.
Well, Price, I want to thank you for sharing all this. It is, I don't know as if the camera can do the just of how pretty and expansive it is. It's just gorgeous with all the bees flying around. It's a hot, hot July day, as you know.
It is.
And they still look, their zinnias and cosmos and sunflowers perform well in the heat
Yes,
of
absolutely,
Tennessee.
absolutely.
So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.